Hey, live chatters and mad hatters. This is Douglas George Bloch. It is November 28th, 2021. There was a very famous song by the Supremes when I was growing up. Baby, baby, where did our love go? Well, here's my theme for this year. Baby, baby, where did the year go? Where did 21 go? Or 2021? Like, wow, like that. I've been cold last night. I slept under an open window, so I got to get a tissue in a minute. Anyway, welcome everybody. It's my unfavorite time of year. It is between the time between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day, and I just basically, what am I saying? I just can't wait for it to be over. Holidays are always challenging. I have no Thanksgiving. I was an orphan. I mean, no Thanksgiving. I had no Thanksgiving. I don't have any family. That's right. So it is a challenging time. But today is the first night of Hanukkah. So get that menorah out, you guys, and light it. All right. So we are here at the Pastor Doug's Depression Recovery Hour, answering all of your questions about mental health recovery, not diagnosing, not treating, just engaging in a conversation for informational purposes and having you guys come together in community to support each other. And that is the main thing. Hey, David VR. The German North, Septina Harding. Hey, Sigmund, a.k.a. Chom Choms. Hello, been a long time for me. Yep, always nice to see you. Edward Steiner. You ever hear of Rudolf Steiner, your relative? He was a great metaphysician from Germany, Austria, actually. He started something called anthroposophy. Probably haven't heard of it, huh? It's pretty esoteric. Hey, Jack Henry, nice to see you. Started Van Vid also. Okay, so let's go to I know no one deserved this, but I'm gonna basically type it anyway. Posophy. I was very lucky at 22. I went down under. Hey, you're up early. Venezuela. Well, God bless you in your country. God, you've been going through some hard times. Sir Douglas. Yes, sir. Hope all is good with you. What to do when there is a stressful urge to do a compulsion? Well, resist it. They say delay, but too hard and anxiety is up the roof. Hope you can give me something to do. Well, just focus your mind and do something else. Like if you haven't want to smoke, just chew a lemon drop, right? And if this continues, obviously you need to see a good counselor, therapist, psychiatrist to try to, figure out what's going on, why are these compulsions happening, and how to treat them. But when I have an urge to do something I don't want to do, I just refocus and do something else in its place. So that's my strategy. Snowy day in Michigan. That's why I don't live in the Midwest. It is 60 degrees and sunny in Portland, Oregon. Yay, baby. Life, Douglas, triple exclamation point. Well, I'll take it. Do you think Prozac and Abilify are a good cocktail? No, I think gin and vermouth are much better. Okay, Prozac and Abilify, I've seen them prescribed. One's an antidepressant, one's an antipsychotic. Yeah, a psychiatrist put all sorts of things together in a mishmash. Why? Because it's all, they're guessing. But hey, if your psychiatrist recommended that to you, go for it. I mean, he or she is the final judge as well as you. So yes, I've seen those prescribed together. Can I say whether it's good? Depends on the person, depends on your prescriber. Remember, no prescription advice here. The German North. Hey, what about this variant? Is it called Omicron? Came from South Africa. Oh, the market's dropped, man. Oh my God. They're just overreacting. Snowy day in Leeds. Well, that's because it's winter. Love your channel, Life. Well, thank you so much. Love the fact that you love it. So, two things. I'm going to do a video in 2 weeks called Surviving the Holidays. Is there anybody else besides me who finds the holidays a challenging time between November and Christmas? Yeah, it's tough for many reasons. Hey, Julie Nelson, nice to see you. So yeah, any thoughts about how you cope with the holidays? Those of you who don't, it helps save my life. If I ever got out of Harvard, your super chat's coming your way. Thank you for helping me. Well, Your thanks is good enough. I was telling my wife Joan that whenever I feel down that my YouTube channel is down 45% in views and income, I say, hey, we've already helped tens of thousands of people. If the YouTube channel ceased tomorrow, it would have still been worth it. Jennifer Miranda, I love the name Jennifer. Susan Jones, yes, yes. Carrie, you lost 4 people this year? Whoa. Oh, isn't loss tough? Love the live chat. Ann C. from Oklahoma, 84 years old, another Pisces. Thanks so much. Agree holidays are tough. Many gatherings too crowded. Yeah, well, I wish I had something to go to. You just struggle with depression every winter? Well, you have winter depression. Hey. So there are lots of ways to deal with it. And I think there's a book called The Winter Blues. You might want to check this out if I've got the name right. By Norman Rosenthal. Check out that book. It's got some good tips. By the way, I've said it once and I've said it again. There has never been a better time to be mentally ill than 2021. Why has there never been a better time to be mentally ill? Because we have so many more avenues of treatment and so many more options than we did in 1840. Like when people went crazy in 1840, what did they do? They locked them up in an asylum, right? There were no antidepressants, there was no ketamine, there was no TMS, there was no ECT, there was no magic mushrooms. I mean, I'm thinking of all the ways that people treat depression. There was no anti-anxiety drugs, there was no Ativan, there was no Xanax, there was nothing. What did you do when you went crazy in 1843? Not a whole lot. Yeah, it's a great, and also I have a video on winter depression life. Just check it out on my, it's called Seasonal Affective Disorder. Sorry for your loss, Jennifer. Wow, that's always my trigger into depression is losses. Lewis Thomas, a very famous author, by the way. Hi, Douglas. What's the best way to stop the fight or flight response and butterfly feeling in the chest? Well, deep breathing, progressive relaxation, a benzodiazepine, which is what I used, like Klonopin. Yeah, I think the best way to do it, Lewis, is to basically, first of all, exercise really helps calm the nerve. You want to go into the parasympathetic nervous system. Look, we have two nervous systems, the parasympathetic rest and digest, and the sympathetic fight or flight, right? So you want to transition from one to the other. Well, breathe in for 4, count for 4, breathe out for 4, count for 4. That's called square breathing. That's one way. The other way is to go ahead and, as I said, get up and jump up and down for some jumping jacks, burn off those chemicals. The other way is positive self-talk. Hey, this won't last forever. So I have a really good video. It's probably my favorite. Well, sorry about that. Let me see. What do I do here? Not quite sure. Anyway, yeah, so as I was saying, you're welcome, John Gaffilin from England. I know you had a loss many, many years ago. Hopefully you've processed it. And see, I decided this year that I was going to enjoy all the good times I had with the people that are deceased. SHR, my love, more to those alive. Some churches have support groups called Grief Share. I didn't know that. They offer them during the holidays when people are hurting the most. Thank you for that tip. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Anyway, I hope that helped. Okay, so my video on anxiety, which covers all these techniques. Here it is. That is my best video on anxiety. I stole it from a book called Rewire Your Anxious Brain. So if you want to check out that book, that's what you should do. It has everything. It's a really great book. So thank you for the tip, Carrie. By the way, did people get to see my video that I post? I post a video every Saturday. So yesterday's was called You're More Resourceful Than You Think. The actual original title was You're Stronger Than You Think, but it means no matter how bad off you are, no matter how bad the crisis, you have resources within you, and also I believe the divine, right, if you want to call on that, that can help you out. I have been I have been down and out. I have been at the edge. I was just thinking about that because I actually went into a minor depressive episode 2 days ago due to some really bad sleep disruptions due to something called urinary retention. You have to go to the bathroom, but you can't, and it keeps you up all night. Anyway, yeah. So you have to remember, I got out of this place before. I can do it again. I have the tools. I have the support. You just got to keep telling yourself you're going to survive. Easier said than done. Hey, Pedar Shields. Pedar Shields is our great scribe. He takes all the email addresses. Hey, Pedar, have you been communicating to the email list yet? I haven't gotten any, CCs from you. You're about a godsend in my life. Well, thank you, life. I think I recognize you, your picture. You actually have a different name that we've communicated. I think I don't want to give away your identity, but I'll say this. I think you live in a foreign country. I'll say that. Anyway, we've communicated. I'm glad I've been able to help. Okay, so let's go over. All right, I have to put somebody in timeout here. Hey, Marina Blackyard, nice to see you. You live in Cleveland, Ohio? Well, so much for my... I guess you're somebody else. Well, I like Cleveland. They have a great rock and roll museum there. Why, thank you. We're actually losing some people opted out of the email group. Well, you know, my old channel was Records Forever. Real name is Brian. Okay, well, thank you. You look like in your photo somebody else. Thanks for the clarification. I had to take meds, going to the bathroom 6 times a night. Yes, I started taking meds last night. I don't know. I forget. At any rate, let me see. What was I going to say? I got distracted. Well, I'll remember. Yes, right. Channel viewership. I don't want to sound like I'm kvetching, right? This is why people are opting out of the email group. Please hit the like button. Won't cost you a cent, but you know, I want to keep doing these for you guys. But you know, if my channel shrinks to nothing, I'm not going to be able to keep doing these videos. So hit the like button. Get some. Let people know that this live chat is coming and is on, and it's helping people. Tony Monaco, nice to hear from you. Thank you, Carrie. What was the medication you took? I'm taking something called Flomax. And thank you, Life, for clarifying your name. Jared S., I'm so fearful of certain things happening. I really limit my life. I fear if I don't do everything present said fear, I'm not doing everything I can. Feel like I couldn't live with myself. You definitely have an anxiety disorder. Oh, Dr. Bessel Vanderkolk, he's the great expert on trauma. I've read his book. Your Body Knows the Score. Excellent, Tony. Very good choice. I recommend it to everybody. Yeah, Jared, it sounds like your anxiety is really getting getting control of you. Whenever I get fearful of things happening in the future, I say cancel, cancel. This is about the future. The future doesn't exist. It's not real, so it can't harm me. And then I refocus on the present. I've been having some anxiety the last couple of mornings, thinking that how am I going to make it to 90, even to 80? It just seems like too much after the physical challenge I've had. But I have to focus right here in the moment. Right now, I'm well, I'm whole, I'm on this live chat. The sun is out. A friend's coming by. I'm going to see a movie tonight, The Beatles. And has anyone seen the what is it called? Get Back? The documentary was streamed on last Tuesday, I think. Is that the name of the documentary? Tell me if anyone has seen it, if you have any good reports. One day at a time. Oh, Qigong is very helpful for PTSD. Nice work, Tony. Thank you, Sonia. I try to make these videos helpful. Well, maybe. I've never had a loss of viewers like this. I think YouTube must be changing their, what's it called? Their not their graphics, algorithm. There you have it. Hey, Giles from Switzerland. I always wanted to go there. I have Swiss background in my blood, or blood in my background. Well, Joe, I'm sorry that you feel desperate. I hope you can change your despair around if you reached out for help. I've been there. I know it. Flamax, I'm aware of causal reactions. Taking alfusin, finasteride. Oh, the fun of getting old. My back goes out more than I do. LOL. Well, I think I had some reactions when I took Flamax and stopped, but I'm gonna mention these other things to my my urologist. The other things you recommend. Diana Sabchuk. How can I overcome anxiety? I have an anxious personality disorder. No matter how I try, can't stop being anxious. Well, it's a combination of cognitive behavioral therapy and medication. I haven't heard of Dr. Horst Konka. No, not really. The world is wackier than ever. Yeah, well, maybe what wackiness means they're not reaching out for help. Hey, Pascros, nice to see you. Whereabouts Switzerland? Says Zurich, right? The great home of the Jung Institute. So, did anyone hear of Lucy Hone? She has a good video on resilience. Really? Oh, good. I'm going to take that. I'm going to copy that also. Thank you. Isn't it Command 3? Yep, that is. I'm making a screenshot because I want to see that video. So, Diana, once again, I have a video called How to Rewire Your Anxious Brain, right? And it's my video, and it has lots of tools. And so does the internet in general. Lots of tools. Can we do this? Whoa, I'm going to have to use Siri. Okay, so Diana, so there's cognitive behavioral therapy, changing the way you think. There's exercise, changing your physiology. There's medication, those three things. And I mentioned them all. And I don't think there's an anxious personality disorder description in the DSM-5, but I hear you have probably generalized anxiety disorder. Anyway, you're an anxious person. And so you need to go ahead and find a therapist, psychiatrist who basically works with anxious people. And there are many of them because anxiety is the #1 disorder in the world, not depression, which I thought. There are 44 million people in America suffering from anxiety compared to like 20 million people suffering from depression. Anyway, anxiety is the biggest mental health problem in the world right now. So, not surprised you're dealing with it, but there are many, many people out there you can see. You have to reach out to support. Look, in my book, I talk about setting the intention to heal as the first step in mental health recovery, reaching out for support, and then trying a bunch of different things. You have to. You can't overcome anxiety by yourself. It's too big. It's bigger than you. Your brain has been hijacked. Bloch is a Swiss or German name. You're absolutely right. Ernest Bloch, who was a great composer, lived in Oregon, Swiss. Although my father lived in the Alsace-Lorraine, my grandfather, which is the border between France and Germany, so Bloch, it is German, but it also is Swiss too. So probably way back a couple of generations, I'm sure I have some, oh, that was a good guess, Giles. Well, Zurich is a big town in Switzerland, right? I'm sure I have Swiss blood in me somewhere. If someone has no desire to live after losing a relationship through breakup and feel life isn't worth living anymore without said person, what resource and advice would you give? That happened to me in 1982. Resources, therapy, advice. I know this is a cliche. So in 1982, when my first major love, I was 31, we lived together. She left, had an affair with another man. I thought I would never survive. Now it's 40 years later. I'm with Joan, and she's a distant memory. Even Oh, really? Dr. Horst Karka? Strange name. Well, we'll have to look him up. So anyway, my coworker has DID, did. Well, what is DID? I did good. No, that's a different DID. Something disorder, right? Detachment, disassociation, identity disorder. Tell me what it is. Hey, Giles, don't worry about being late. Struggling with anger today. I just realized I forgot to take my meds. Oops, yep, that'll happen. So, Jared, the woman I couldn't live without, a distant memory. Now, even when I lost her in 1981, I met Joan in 1981, but we got together in 83. By the time I got married in 84, that was 3 years later, it didn't matter anymore because I had a new partner. So I've had a lot of people who've had partners die. I'm 72. A couple of people I know in their 70s, their wives died, their husband died, they got remarried. All things must pass. So you just have to wait it out. In the meantime, reach out for support, go to a grief group, go to a counselor, and you will survive this because time is the great healer. Period. I'm going to say it again. Hey, Alex Jones, nice to see you. 57 people. Oh, here, let's see if we can get up to 70. And let's see if we can get a donation. It is 25 minutes after the hour, and not a single donation. Well, we used to have David Holden, Robert Jenkins, but what can you do? $1.99. You can basically, this is associated with attachment disorder. I was pretty close, wasn't it? I said identity disorder. Yeah, that's a tough one to treat. I would say go find a really good therapist. Time doesn't heal all wounds when you had a childhood full of abuse. You're absolutely right. I was talking about loss of love. I was talking about breakups. No, if you had a child full of abuse, you need to go ahead and get into trauma therapy, Jennifer. I'm sure you've done that. I was referring to a breakup of relationships, so I should have been more specific. But yeah, my wife Joan had abuse in her childhood. I mean, it is a lifelong recovery, and you're right. Jennifer, you need more than time. You need treatment and intervention. So thank you for clarifying that. But when it talks about loss of a love, the death of a loved one, separation, divorce, time usually does a good job. But no, when you've had abuse, you have to basically intervene. So I hope you found some good tools, seriously. But yeah, thank you for bringing it up. You're absolutely right. Abuse, trauma. Most people who are addicts, drug addicts, alcoholics, had trauma. Look at all the people coming back from the war. Every day 20 veterans die or something of that nature. I mean, PTSD from war, it ain't going away. It's not going to go away by itself. Well, this is associative attachment disorder. I have a good, hey, Richard Compton, nice to see you. I have a general idea what it means, but I know what attachment disorder is, but I don't have any experience in dealing with it. So again, I what do you call it? Refer you to a good therapist. I hope, Jennifer, that was helpful what I said. Oh, Lisa, my brother's married to a nice lady named Lisa. I like the crisis lines, but the best helpline, the Silent Unity Prayer Line has been around since 1889. I've called it hundreds of times and referred people to it probably thousands of times. After all, I've been in this business for 50 years. So you hit 1-816-969-2000. And there it is. Can a carnivore diet help with depression and anxiety? Some people think that a ketogenic or what is that other one called? Paleo diet? Yeah, they've reported that, but everybody is different. Oh yeah, Stephen Ilardi, he's brilliant. He's from the University of Kansas. I've heard his, he has a similar philosophy as I do about treating depression through a holistic approach. He's fantastic, yeah. I've seen his TED Talk. Thank you, Giles. Any tips for feeling anxious, specifically in a group of people? That's social anxiety. Usually exposure. We had a guy who came to my support group. He was so uptight he couldn't talk for 5 weeks, and then gradually he got used to the people, and he was fine. So, again, so when you're having some mental health problems, number one, try working with it on your own, using your own tools. And when that doesn't work, if that doesn't work, then you go bring in the troops, which is seeing a good therapist. Again, in 1843, what they do, they were doomed, right? They were SOL. But now in 2021, if you go to Psychology Today, find a therapist, and type in your zip code, oh my God, you will see hundreds and hundreds. Unless you live in a town of 10 people. But even then, you can put 50 miles radius. There are so many people out there, so many good helpers. So anyway, I didn't know what your reference was. I just logged on. You are rejected from cerebral telehealth services. They told me they couldn't help me. How's that for touching abandoned wounds? Yeah, I would agree. What a dumb thing. Well, maybe they thought your thing was too complex. I guarantee you, there are therapists who can treat trauma over the internet. Jared, I'm not a YouTube author, but I think how you title the videos would really help generate more traffic. You deserve it. Well, why don't you give me some ideas? That's what my friend Noah said. Don't you think there's a lot of counselors who don't have life experience to really connect? I agree. You need both. But there are some people who are, I've seen people, the psychiatrist who saved my life was never depressed, but he knew how to treat it. He referred me to ECT. So yes, I agree. I mean, this is what I think is my, strength. I've been suicidal and depressed so many times. I haven't lost count, 5 times, but yeah, anybody, none of you, whatever you can say will never surprise me, especially about depression and, and despair. I've been there, done that many, many times. Now, psychosis, if you're seeing giraffes, I've never done that, so I can't be too helpful there. But when it comes to depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, I've been through it all, so that's why I can be helpful. Thank you, Marius, for your €5 donation. Well, at least you got the ball started. Time wounds all heals. Yes, I've my lawyer used to tell me that. Why does time pass? I'm 25 years old. It's a joke. I don't know. As you get older, it passes faster. Try 72. Like 2021 goes like that. The older you get, the faster it goes. I take Sumatil for over a year now with 2 other PAMs. What is your opinion on Sumatil? I'll have to look it up. Maybe somebody can. Hey, Rick, nice to see you. Some video title ideas? Yes. Why don't you email here, Jared? DouglasBloch@gmail.com. Whoops, that's my website, right? DouglasBloch@gmail.com. You send me an email with your suggested titles. I would appreciate it. And if you go to DouglasBloch.com over here, you'll go to a website that has all of my books, all of my tapes, all of my workshops, my podcast, everything I've done for the past 50 years on that website. Okay, someone asked a question about how was my experience with ECT. It was shocking, quite frankly. How's that for a pun? Do you hear about the math teacher who was so afraid of the negative numbers he would stop at nothing to avoid them? Someone just told me that. I think that's brilliant. Okay, so my experience with ECT was shocking, but in all seriousness, it saved my life. I was hospitalized for 4 weeks, the January 5th to the 28th, 25, well, a little less than 4 weeks, had 8 treatments, and it stopped the despair, it stopped the suicidal ideation, and it took me 9 more months to recover, but it was the turning point. So yes, my mother went through ECT 5 times, electroconvulsive therapy, brought her out every time. We had a guy from my support group who was catatonic, went down to the Menninger Institute, got a number of ECT treatments, saved her. It was actually a man. And then this other woman named Mary, she was had 2 attempted suicides, got ECT, snapped right out of it. So I can't say enough about it, although it does have, of course, side effects like everything else. Yeah, Sonia Sylvia, so true, I lost a spouse in 2005. Time healer, went to grief counseling. Exactly, that's what I was sharing when Jennifer came on the line. Lisa, having chronic pain, back pain, feeling isolated from COVID, being overly cautious, making depression so much worse. Isolation is the big makes depression worse. And chronic back pain, my God, my brother has chronic nerve pain. I have had chronic pain. It's going away ever since my surgery. I've done 4 videos on my surgery. Anyway, yes. Physical pain and mental pain, hell on wheels. I had a video called that. On days I'm busy with people, I feel better, of course, but I just don't have as much support friends as it seems you did from your book. Well, I was very lucky. I was an exception to the rule. Seriously, that was just grace. Trying to figure out how to get more connected to others. Lisa, that is the name of the game. You do that. Here's one way being on this live chat. There's also these online support groups. So Lisa, try. We're still at 57. Let's get at least above 60, huh? Hit the like button. Lion Rock Recovery. Online. Gotta check my messages for just a second. Thank you, Susan Jones. I've been helped most by peer counselors in recent years since I'm on Medicaid. Yes, peer counselors are great. I learned from really great experts like Douglas. What do you mean experts, Lazy Eye Ranch? I'm the only expert on YouTube. Haha, no, of course that's a joke. Let's see what's going on here. Giles Muklil. I'm coming out of depression now for the first time without pills, but at the moment I need to control everything like 20 times. I hope it gets better soon. Well, I came out of 2 depressions without pills, so it's possible. You just have to be really vigilant and have support. So, I do this every week, but if you want to see the 45 tools that I use that have helped me over the past 25 years, self-care activities to improve your mood, simply email me, douglasblog@gmail.com. I'll send you this diagram. Yes, so online support groups for Lisa. You're on the right path, Lisa. You're on the right path. And you did join NAMI Online Support Group that meets weekly. Thanks for that in your book. Absolutely, Lisa. You are going to survive. You know why? You know why you're a survivor, Lisa? Because you are reaching out for support. You are doing the right thing. NAMI is a wonderful resource. Just finished an 8-week course on Zoom. Yeah, so there you have it, Lisa. They have a course called Family to Family at Lazy Eye Ranch. Just Lazy Eye Ranch, you should give out your email address one of these days. You're an amazing resource, or at least give it to, what's his name, Peter Shields. I think I don't know. My collar's messed up. Oh well. How can I reconnect with my girlfriend after 2 months that she isolated herself? When people isolate themselves, it's hard to connect with them. You just have to keep reaching out. Oh yeah, so for all those who want help, yeah, it's called Family to Family. Go on the NAMI website. Intermittent fasting is very good for depression and very good for weight loss and health, but I can't seem to do it. I have this problem. I need to eat all the time. I need to see a good naturopath, actually. Okay, so you go to the internet and you type in, whoopsie daisy, PSYCHOLOGY. Put in your zip code. All right. Go there, put in your zip code, and you will find hundreds of therapists, psychotherapists around you. And then if you wanted to see a therapist online, there is BetterHelp, Help, and Talkspace for online counseling. So there is, as I said again, there's never been a better time to be mentally ill because of these resources. So Lisa, go to Psychology Today, find a therapist, type in your zip, you'll find a good therapist in your area, or you can do online counseling. And yeah, you keep reaching out, Lisa. You're gonna make it. Only 39 people. Wow. Yeah, peer-to-peer class. So my left hip is really hurting. I have to get up and stretch. I had a major operation on the left hip. I only should be sitting for 20 minutes time. 40 minutes has gone by, so I'm going to get up, leave the room, and come right back. Or maybe I'll just stand, but oh my God. Oh, Edward Steiner coming through with his $20 donation. Thank you. Do you know why they called her Wonder Woman? She was always wondering where she parked her invisible jet. I didn't know she had an invisible jet. That would be difficult. You know, I tried to put on my camouflage pants, but I couldn't find them. Similar joke. What am I supposed to do? I'm unemployed, lost 4 jobs in 2 years, totaled my car, and I'm about to be evicted, homeless. Oh my God. I came from a stable place and a good job, but now daily panic attacks. Well, I would feel that same way. Dear, that is a horrible place to be. Do you have any friends you can stay with? Parents? There are homeless shelters, but oh, my heart goes out to you. We have something in Portland called Central City Concern that helps people who are in your situation. Maybe there's a social service area in your place. I would call Silent Unity and start there. And maybe, you know, the invisible support they give you will help you, you know, find a way out of it. But it's, you know, you are definitely in circumstances that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. So you can call that name, Lisa. How to cure migraine? I haven't a clue. Many techniques. I'm looking for friends too. I've isolated myself for 8 years. It's so hard to ask for help. Well, you know, it is hard, but you can just push. You can say, you know, people want to help. People are compassionate. You know, human beings are cooperative by nature. Do you know that? 63. God, you must have gone in the time machine and reversed your age, Anne. So yeah, people want to help. We are a cooperative species, you know. People feel good when they help other people. I have 0 family and 0 friends. I come from an abusive therapy that I went no contact with 10 years ago. Well, what about support groups, Jennifer? NAMI has the online support groups, right? And you know, you don't have a drinking problem, but you can still go to you can also go to AA, and you just have to say, I'm someone who wants to stop drinking. I had a couple of people with depression in my groups who didn't have a drinking problem, but went to AA for the community. So that's another idea. But did physical therapy give you better at 20 home exercises, right? And I stopped physical therapy on Friday, and I haven't had the time to do any of them. I need to be diligent. Yes, they gave me a home therapy program. How do you know that, Carrie? You must have been in my state. Can anxiety last for 2 years? Well, let me say this. My brother said to me recently, you've been depressed and anxious forever. But, yeah, Jennifer, we have to find some way to support Jennifer. Yes, it can last for 2 years. If you have general anxiety disorder, it's basically an ongoing diagnosis, but you can manage it. You can manage anxiety. Ran out of Prozac and lost my med prescription for Thanksgiving, and the day after was rough for the family, to say the least. Yes, NAMI online support groups meet weekly, have been life-saving for me. Okay, so Jennifer, well, did you see what Lisa said? NAMI online support groups. You see, she said that right above you. They will not reject you. NAMI is all inclusive, and you might be do that. Client from 8:50 to 38. Wow, I'm glad you're off it. Yeah, well, my hip is fine, Susan, as long as I don't sit for an hour doing live chat. I don't mean to be a martyr, but yes, it is really hard on my body. So Jennifer. NAMI online. So Lisa, maybe you could somehow reach out to Jennifer. She left her email address here, and you can tell her about I know it was, and that was my stupid joke. I'm sorry. I apologize. When you're in pain, you'll do anything to distract yourself. So Jennifer, put your email address out there if you want to. Lisa or somebody I'll send you an email and show you how to get to the NAMI online support groups. Absolutely, I can show you how to do that. Yeah, Lisa, online crisis lines, local crisis lines. Well, Jennifer, you have to take it a day at a time. You have to take it one day at a time. You have to ask the universe for help. Call sign. Here are 3 pieces of advice. So those are 4 things. And there are therapists, actually. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate your $5 donation. You're number 1. That's very sweet of you. Hang in there. This will pass. Thinking back from Canada. Join the paid art group. Yes. And the other thing is that, online support groups very good. And there are some therapists. In Portland who will see people for free. Anyone had any experience with Seroquel and Remeron? I've recently been prescribed them for depression and anxiety. They're both good medications. What can I tell you? I've taken Remeron. It was helpful for sleep. A lot of other people have, in my groups, have taken Seroquel, also for sleep and anxiety. So yeah, I'm sure someone prescribed it to you. You should ask them about it. But yeah, those are used. I had to switch doctors when I was pregnant. No way would they prescribe it. Cold turkey. I'm 46 now, so thankful I'm off it. Yeah. Well, it's hard to get off of them. I'm glad you got off of the Klonopin. It's good for every now and then. Can anxiety, stress cause sudden blackouts? Stress can cause anything. So, again, talk to your prescriber, talk to your doctor, talk to your therapist. But if you are having blackouts, you should definitely get medical help. Jennifer, I'm glad you found this chat. There are some wonderful, empathetic folks here because most of us have been in very dark places. Amen. So Jennifer, you've got a lot of support here, a lot of suggestions. I hope something works for you. Oh, Depression Bipolar Support Alliance. Yes. Do you see what Edwards say? Yeah, I'm gonna actually copy what Edward said, and I'm gonna paste it here. Okay, so I guess it didn't paste, but anyway, there you have it. Edward says Depression Bipolar Support Alliance. Yeah, again, Jennifer, email me and I will send you some links. I have links to all these things that people have been talking about. Okay, there's my email address right there. All right. Oh, it did work. Okay, Jennifer. I did post the same thing that Edward did. What part of the world do you call home? It's especially hard when you live in isolated places like I do. COVID has made it easier to find online help. For me, I wish I had friends. You titrated yourself, Laura, but somebody here went cold turkey off of Klonopin. How do I deal with regret? Oh my God, I was perfectly healthy before the COVID vaccine and was bullied into it, and now I have all types of health problems. Really? Well, you did the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. You were bullied into taking COVID. That doesn't sound very good. Yes, and people do have some side effects. Well, you have to forgive yourself, right? I have a video. 70 people, thank goddess. Thank you very much for hitting that like button. We used to have like 80 to 100, but I'm happy with 70. Thank you for all being here. So the person who's talking about regret, that's what I recommend. All right, we have 71 people here. Thank you all. Maybe a donation or two. Loa the Frenchy Swan. Yes, I just love that name. Hey Douglas, thanks for doing this. I'm finally on the mend. I thought I'd read I'm finally out of my mind, but no. On the mend, there you have it. Listen to old Douglas Bloch's videos. Spelled wrong, but that's okay. Yes, Lisa. You're more than welcome. As I said, my sister-in-law's named Lisa. Sorry, I saw you answered. Oh, because you're a good person helping others. GPH, thank you. 10 euros. You've donated before. What does GPH stand for? Anyway, I don't care. Thank you for helping. I'm glad you're here. I hope this is being helpful. Thank you, Douglas. Eliran Mishael. Is that a name from the Middle East? I love learning about where people come from. It snowed in the UK today. I'm sorry, it's 60 degrees and sunny here in Portland. Your videos and this support give me strength to back to counseling and AA, and lives getting much better. Yes, if you can go to AA, you're very fortunate. That is amazing support. Violet Lines, I don't talk much here, but just want to say I appreciate you, Douglas. Well, thank you, Violet. It's a beautiful color here. Here's my amethyst. Whoops, let me get back on camera here. See that? That's violet right there, isn't it? Okay, let's adjust this. Sorry for the shaking. I used to do magic and ventriloquism as a kid, then got more introverted as I got older. Yes, ventriloquism is fantastic. Well, anyway, Violet, I'm glad you're here. Isn't the line of healthy, independent, stoic-minded person not that much different from someone who's a loner with anxiety and depression who's also alone? Well, not quite, in my opinion. People who are healthy and independent and have a stoic mindedness, which means they kind of bear things with ease, or yeah, that's not depression where you're feeling sad and blue and sometimes like harming yourself. So yeah, the depressed person is also alone, but they're also suffering. The healthy, independent individual is not usually suffering. I got sober 1 month at turn 19. I'm 34 now. 15 years of sobriety have been hard during COVID, but this helped me get through it. Anybody who stays sober has my incredible admiration. Alcohol, drugs hijack the brain. It is so hard to refrain. I know so many people have fallen off the wagon, including my good friend Noah, who has a very good channel on this internet. He's been to hell and back with his alcoholism. How many books have I read this year? Not enough. Probably just 2. I lost my mom to suicide. Yes, Rick. Yes, Rick. Thank you for sharing again. My job, my license, went into deep depression. I got out of it. One day at a time, seek help, eat well, vitamins, and go for walks. I also pray. Rick, you are a survivor. My sponsor did 7 years ago. It was heartbreaking. You mean he relapsed? Hey, relapse is part of recovery. Lagai, oh, sorry, just got here. Opening is well and safe. Lagai, Lisa, Alberta, how's your new place working out? How's your pet? Or do you have a pet? I know you lost your dad. Anyway, it's always great to see you. Yes, Rick has talked about the loss of his mother. I'm amazed. I'm gonna say something good to Rick right now. Rick, you are a survive. Good work with self-care. By the way, I have a website that has stories of people who've gone through suicide loss like you. We get a good donation to Hollies. Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Where are we now? We're on Safari. So, we're in live streaming right here, right? So I'm going to hit a plus sign. I'm going to go to overcoming suicidal pain. I'm going to have you lost something to suicide? Anyway, here we are. So Rick, if you click on this link, there's a link to my new website where people tell stories about how they lost people to suicide and how they recovered. I think you will. I think you'll find it helpful. And by the way, if you want to write me, I would love to have you contribute if you want to. You've missed a donation, I didn't miss anything. They just come here when they come. Anyway, drinking just numbs the pain. Absolutely. So Rick, if you would like to share your story on my website, you can help a lot of people about how you survived. It's your call. Of course, it would be completely anonymous. But you know, if you want to share your story anonymously, that would be helpful, and it's completely your choice. Forgiving oneself and living oneself is hard. Do you have a top BIDEP of yours you would recommend? I don't know what BIDEP means. We are at 12:56. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your donations. We have 4 minutes left. I'm going to get up and give my hit a rest, but guys can chat for at least 5 more minutes after I sign off. And you should definitely, sure, well, please email me. I send you a questionnaire and you can fill it out, and before your testimony goes up online, you have complete final say, editorial say. So nothing happens without your consent. But yeah, you would be a tremendous asset. See, here's the deal. When you go through suffering, when you go through pain, the way to turn lead into gold, the way to turn suffering into blessings is to share your pain with others and help other people get through the same thing. I've been cursed, you could say, with depression since I've been 6 years old, anxiety since the sperm hit the egg, but I'm trying to use my own experience and my suffering to help other people. So the people who've lost loved ones to suicide who post on my website, they're doing the same thing. So anytime you basically go through something difficult, you can use that to help other people. All right, what is the top video, Jared S? Yes, Rick, just send me an email and I will email you back. All right, we have 2 minutes left. Hey, Lagai, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I moved 1,500 miles 20 years ago, but I'm letting 2 narcissists keep me away from those I do care about. Well, hell is other people, said, what's his name? Sartre, right? Anyway, my new video is called You I'm from Cindy. Do you have any thoughts on EMDR therapy? Yes, EMDR therapy has helped a lot of people. I know people who've gone through it, and like everything else, not a guaranteed cure, but You should research it and find someone who practices it. And if they think you're a good candidate, yeah, I've heard good things about it. How can I control generalized anxiety? That's the $64,000 question. Many ways. Abduli, again, my video, How to Rewire Your Anxious Brain. Just put general anxiety disorder and put it in Google and say, treatments. You'll have thousands of videos. Yes, there are online AA groups for sure, Laura, especially during COVID. Aster Bonfire, I love your name. All right, so Liam Johnson, yes, absolutely give it a try. Okay, thanks for that wonderful mind to keep peace in our hearts. Well, the guy is just lovely. So, Abduli, just go to the internet, Google generalized anxiety, and find a good therapist. 75 people, wow. I have 76 concurrent viewers in my thing. That's a smart recovery is another opinion. I'll tell you that is not a list based on science. Thank you very much, Lazy Eye Ranch. Yep. Well, is it Sunday again? Is it? It is Sunday again, and I'm signing off because it's 1:03. But guess what? You can watch as soon as I sign off in the streaming, it'll be right up on the internet. You can watch the whole thing. Do you remember your first love? Of course. Her name was Sima. Was my heart ever broken? Yeah, by her, by Nina, by a couple of other people. That's what's put me in the hospital. And I also went through a divorce with Joan, so I'm definitely been heartbroken. I'm sorry that you have been in that space, Thanos. I would say that you should get professional help, right? That's the first thing you need to do. If you're in that much pain, you need to get professional help. I don't know where you live, but that's my first suggestion. And also, I have a website, right, which doesn't substitute for professional help, but it took me 3 years to put it together, so I know it's got some helpful stuff in there. And here it is. Okay, there it is, Thanos, Brick. There's the website to go to and reach out for help where it sounds like you're maybe in a foreign country. And I will check my email later today. All right. My hip is hurting, my knees are hurting. I have arthritis in my knee. Getting old is wonderful. 68 concurrent viewers. Thank you for making this a success. Yes, I know, Lazy Eye Ranch. What a tragedy you had. You never forget the people you love, do you? Is there a chance that severe depression comes from a trauma that a person had at a young age? Of course. It's often the way it happens. And if it does, and she does face and overcome the trauma, does the depression go away? It definitely can be lessened. I can say that. I can't predict other people's treatment, but if you had trauma early on, yes, it can cause depression. If you get treatment, it's probably going to help somewhat. Go for it and see what happens. If you're always focused on mental health issues, Paula, maybe every now and then you can get up, look at the sun, take a walk, try to distract yourself. Yes, your favorite Uncle Herbert. I think you. I'm glad you're here. Thanos, I hope my suggestions help you about seeking professional help and going to that website. Grateful that for 9 years we had together, better to have loved and lost than better to have loved at all. Thank you. And speaking of quotes, who said this? Parting is such sweet sorrow. That's what I feel right now. I don't want to leave, but I have to. Quickly, who said parting is such sweet sorrow? If I can basically get the answer to that question, I can sign off. Shakespeare, the guy, Lazy Ranch, you're a well-read person. All right. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll be here next Sunday on December 5th, headed towards the end of the year. I hope you survive the holidays. Yes, good support groups on Facebook. Rick, you should definitely write to get your name on the Paid Our Shields email address and send this to all these people, all your good ideas. Till we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Signing off.